Hey guys, welcome back to the Korean Keto Guy channel. In this video, I actually will talk a little bit, just because I figured, I wanted just to give my little backstory in terms of how I even got into keto and intermittent fasting, since I'm sure everyone's journey is a little different, mine included, but I'm also sure that some things are still similar, right? But yeah, so basically I am going to talk, so if you don't like that kind of thing, I do apologize, but I'm going to try to keep it between 10 to 15 minutes, so, it won't be super long, but yeah, I'm actually going to start with intermittent fasting because, intermittent fasting is what pretty much started everything for me, and this was many years ago now. I want to say back in about 6 to 7 years ago now, wow. So back in 2012, 2013, is when I started intermittent fasting. And it's crazy because I initially did intermittent fasting, just probably like how everyone else, probably for the same reasons everyone else wanted to start it, right? I just wanted to lose weight. I was a pretty heavy kid, not gonna lie, in high school and college. And when I found intermittent fasting, it was unique to me, or it really piqued my interest because it wasn't actually a diet, right? After all the research I did, I saw that, it wasn't a diet. It was just more or less, you would eat the same things, but you would just eat them within a certain time frame, right? And I thought to myself, hey, okay, that doesn't sound so bad. I mean, I still ate the same things I was eating, right? I was eating pizzas, hamburgers, whatever, you name it. I was eating whatever I wanted, but I would stick to that window, right? I would stick to the actual eating window. And that's what was really hard at first because it was very new to me. Prior to that, I was doing the typical, I don't know if you want to call it the bodybuilding diet, but I was doing 6 small meals a day, breakfast, something between lunch, something between dinner, something after. It was, I guess it's good for certain people. I mean, if you want to kind of build size and whatnot, it has a purpose. But for me, I was just basically just getting fatter. And so I started intermittent fasting, and I would say maybe about after a month or so, I really got used to it. And so I'd always do something like, I started easy, right? I would do 8 hours first, right? I would just make an 8-hour eating window so that I would have my first meal at 12, and then 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? 8 hours later, I have my last meal, and then start it all over. And yeah, I would even count my hands because at the time I was like, what is this? But surely, that actually graduated to shorter windows, right? I started doing 6-hour eating windows. To the extent of how extreme I did it, I probably got down to 4 hours. Like, I remember there was like a good, maybe even a year that I was, not a year, maybe like 6 months that I did a 4-hour eating window. That was rough, which basically means just a 4-hour window, 20 hours fasting. But it's funny because now that I've been doing it for so many years, I'll mix and match them. It's not as difficult, but there's been some days that, hey, if I'm maybe not sure as to what kind of calories, food, whatever it is that I ate, and I don't want to make it up for it, I'll fast harder, right? I'm sure you guys have heard that concept now that's been around for so long. You just fast harder. You just play it safe, cut the window down, maybe 4-hour window, 20-hour fast. Otherwise, if you're doing great and you had an amazing diet, or you had an amazing eating schedule for the week, maybe just tone it back to 8 hours for the eating window. But 16-hour fast. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, I did that for a while, right? So I did intermittent fasting for a while, and then I'm trying to think. So keto came into the picture pretty much about 3 to 4 years ago now. 4 years will be, I remember, because 4 years will be in October. So assuming I keep doing keto, which I will, until October, that's 4 years. Wow, it's kind of insane. So 2015, I started keto, and keto was way more difficult for me because that was basically a lifestyle change. I mean, you couldn't eat whatever you wanted to, right? You would basically have to eliminate carbs. And for me, being Korean, rice, right? I remember thinking to myself, like, what am I doing? And, you know, that many years ago, keto was still kind of new, right? It wasn't like as big as it was today. So it was brutal. I'll be straightforward and honest. It was so brutal. Like I got the keto flu for sure. I suffered. You know, I went cold turkey. It was so miserable. I remember those maybe 3 weeks, about 2 to 3 weeks. It was so miserable, and I literally felt like I had the flu. And luckily, I had a time where it was basically my vacation and I wasn't working. So that's another key thing, at least back then, because, you know, now there's a bunch of different type of keto foods and keto snacks, and you could pretty much do keto and not really get the flu anymore. But man, back then, luckily I was in a 2 to 3 week time frame where I wasn't at work, because I was, you know, you name it, I was hangry, I was exhausted, I was constantly rethinking my life. But sure enough, you know, I think thankful, you know, intermittent fasting, again, I'm going to give credit to intermittent fasting. It gave me that nutritional discipline, if you want to call it, to really push me through and do keto at the time successfully. Because right after that 2 to 3 week time frame, that hump, you know, I guess you could call I was keto adapted, right? I was fat adapted, you know, and I wasn't feeling so miserable and groggy. And in fact, you know, anytime I had fat, right, whether it's avocado or even a piece of butter, back then I was literally eating sticks of butter. It was insane, but I would feel okay. I would feel great. I would have the energy I needed that I otherwise wasn't getting from carbs and coffee, right? Just black coffee. I was kind of a black coffee kind of guy anyways, but man, that black coffee becomes your best friend. I was drinking close to 5 cups a day at the time. I mean, now I still drink coffee, but maybe keep it to like four cups a day, maybe 5, I don't know. But that helped me. It was a dramatic game changer because, right, I could drink black coffee. It gave me the energy I needed to basically make it till I could break my fast, right? So I was still intermittent fasting, and when my window came, when I would come up to my window, I would definitely have, you know, the typical keto meals at the time. They're very popular, like avocado with some ground beef, or a huge salad with tons of ground beef and avocado and drenched in olive oil, you know, that kind of thing. You know, I would still have cheat meals, right? It's just funny because people would ask me at times like, hey, what about cheat meals? And, you know, I'd have to go through the whole spiel of cheating under keto is a little different, right? It's not that you can go have pizza and be fine. You're going to kick yourself out of ketosis and then you have to get back in. So I would rationalize it for myself as a cheat meal would be like a bunch of bacon strips and cheese, right? Like, clearly that's not, you tell a normal person that, they're gonna be like, what? But under keto, it's technically keto, so you can kind of be like, all right, well, I indulged in something that's otherwise really bad, but it's still keto, so back on track, right? Back to the salads, back to the veggies, back to the avocados, nuts, you name it, olive oil. But yeah, I know, you know, now it's just a part of me. That's the most interesting thing, is I don't even think about it. Like, I don't, like, people ask, you know, do you crave carbs, or do you crave rice, bread, pastas and stuff? You know, not necessarily. I don't even really crave them anymore, even if it's in front of me. If anything, oddly enough, I crave fruit the most, right? Like a big old mango or something like that. I crave that. I would say I crave that more than a bowl of pasta as of right now. And but sure enough, you know, I know I'm coming up to that little time frame I was saying, but I would say one of the big factors for me also was my why, right? The reason why I even started, because on top of being nutritionally disciplined, you know, you have to have a why, right? I wanted to get, you know, slimmer. I wanted to get shredded. Sorry to use that bro science term, but yeah, I wanted to get shredded and I wanted to lose fat because I was losing weight under intermittent fasting, right? So during that time when I was doing intermittent fasting, I was losing weight, but I wasn't necessarily getting shredded. Like, I was just kind of just getting slimmer, but I still wanted to build size. And the problem is I was building size and getting fatter. So that's why keto came in. And when I did keto, that really did help. I started to keep my size, but I started to actually shed my fat, which at the time, right, years ago when I was doing it, it was such a mind-blowing concept. And, you know, I figured that, oh man, so this this is what they're talking about, right? You can, you know, basically get shredded and build muscle, and you know, sure, yeah, you can have bowls of rice and stuff, but I mean, you can have all the salads and veggies and nuts and beef and chicken and fats and stuff. Like, I don't know, like, I guess it's easier for me to say that now than it was years ago, but you know, I think today, especially now with all the available, you know, videos on YouTube, books, grocery stores, even, like, you go anywhere now and it's so keto friendly. There's so many keto friendly things now that I feel like, you know, it's something worth trying, because even if it's an experiment, you know, you can say you tried it and see how you react, because it's certainly not so black and white as I used to think it was. You know, it's not that, oh, it's always going to be the case that this happens, or it's always going to be the case that this happens. No, there's gray area, right? I mean, some people are different. Some people react very different from keto to keto. Some of the people have very good responses. Other people have terrible responses. You know, like for me, all my digestive tract, everything like that was completely out of whack during that time. I had the keto flu. It only adjusted later, right? Some people have none of those issues. So it's an experiment. Intermittent fasting, by the way, was more like, again, because I didn't change what I was eating, it was okay. Like, I was still having my pizzas and stuff, but so no real issues there. But it was keto that really, right, I had to basically change, and for me, it's worked out very well, and you know, I really enjoy it, and I feel like if you do it the right way, right? If you do keto the right way, meaning you're not just always having bacon and cheese and eating blocks of mozzarella or whatever, you know, you're having your large salad portions. Maybe you go and get a all-you-can-eat buffet salad bar. I don't know. It works, and you have that, you know, mental clarity, and I'm going to use that phrase again, that nutritional discipline, right? It's like it really keeps you in check, and yeah, I mean, definitely I rambled on a lot. I know that, you know, normally you guys are used to watching me doing eating video, like a mukbang video, but those are still fun. Like, I'm gonna keep on doing those. I even got a suggestion down there to do side dishes that are keto. So definitely, right, you know, feel free to comment down below, you know, for any ideas, since the channel's new, right? Ideally keeping it to keto, intermittent fasting, fitness, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video, this episode, and of course, right, if you like this kind of content, subscribe button should be here. Other videos that I've made should be over here, and right, give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.